Hey, how y'all doing this evening? I want to welcome you back to Spiritual Nightcap. This is part 4. We left off with part 3 where Jess was on his way to an interview and Jayla was out doing her deliveries. And so when Jayla came back home, Jess was home. And by her surprise, he was laying back, asleep with a bottle in his hand. And so Jayla woke him up and said, Jess, it's the middle of the day. Why are you drinking? What's going on, Jess? Why you got that bottle sitting up here drinking in the middle of the day? And so he wakes up and he mumbles and go back to sleep. So that Jayla would not get upset, she went into her sewing room. She has this beautiful sewing room where it's serene, and she'll play her gospel and just allow her creativity to flow. And so that's what she did for a while to get her mind off of the situation that Jess is home in the middle of the day drinking again. So it's been about an hour or so. Jess woke up. He came and peeked in her room and let her know, hey, I'll be back. So he said, I won't be long. And so Jayla said, okay, I'll see you when you get back. Dinner will be ready when you get home. So because she know that Jess was feeling down and blue, and that's one thing I forgot, Jess did not get the job. So that could be the reason about his drinking. So Jayla said that she would, she was thinking, she said, I'm going to try to cheer him up. I'm going to make his favorite dinner tonight. And so she worked on some chicken and dumplings. That's one of his favorite dishes. And so normally they eat about 7 o'clock, but the hours was going by. It was 8 o'clock. Next thing you know, it was 9 o'clock. And Jayla's getting worried and getting kind of discouraged, wondering if he went and drank more, like what's going on with him. He don't normally stay out late. So 10 o'clock rolls around, he comes home, he comes in, and she noticed that, he seems like he's okay, but just something in her spirit just wasn't sitting right when Jess came home. And so they sat down and she told him that dinner was ready. Was he ready to eat? He said yes. So they sat down and was about to eat. And so when Jayla looked at him, she noticed that there was some type of powder or something right by his nose. And so she asked him, Jess, what's that on your face? And he had a smirk on his face and was like, well, I had a powdered donut. She said, a powdered donut? Are you sure, Jess, that that's from a powdered donut? Woman, I said it was a powdered donut. And so, they're eating, but the more and more as they was eating, Jayla was getting upset. And Jayla said to him, Jess, are you doing drugs? And he said, drugs? I ain't doing no drugs. And Jayla said, are you lying to me? Are you lying to me? Because you're sitting up here talking about it was a powdered donut, and this substance that I'm seeing on your face is near your nose. You sure you ain't been sniffing nothing? He said, and he didn't have nothing to say. So he just sat there and he looked at her and he just had a smirk on his face. And she was like, where you been at tonight, Jess? Where you been at? Oh, I was over David Brent house. David Brent house? What? David Brent house? You gonna go to his house? You know that he is no good. He is bad news. Why you want to hang out with him? Jayla said, why you want to hang out with David for? You know his history. Why you want to hang around him? Because I just wanted to hang with him, all right? Why you worrying about who I'm hanging with? Because you know that's bad news. So now I understand why I see that white stuff on your face. You've been sniffing something, haven't you, Jess? Haven't you been sniffing something? Did I just tell you don't worry about what I'm doing? Don't worry about it. And so Jayla was like, Jess, please, Jess, it's time to pray about this thing. Because it seems like you getting worse and worse. You are allowing your problems to get the best of you. And you're not praying to God, asking for help. I don't want to pray. Jess said, I don't want to pray. What is prayer going to do for me? I haven't even got a job yet, and you talking about prayer. It's not time for prayer right now. It's time for me to get a job. Jess, are you serious? Like Jayla was like, are you serious right now? You sitting up here telling me that prayer is no good? How could you say that, Jess? You know that there's a God. Well, how could you sit up here and say, don't worry about praying? Praying is what got us through a lot of things, Jess. Woman, I don't want to talk about it no more. I said I don't want to pray. Stop trying to put God on me. I am not ready. I will come to God when I'm ready. This is what Jess said. So Jayla was upset. She just walked away from him and went into her room. And she just bawling and crying and upset. And before you know it, she hears the door slam. So she's crying some more and crying some more and crying some more. But I'm going to tell you right now, hold on to your seat, because this ends part 4. Part 5, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to get worse. Stay tuned. She is really going through some trials right now, but stay tuned to part 5. But before I go, as I said, I have a spiritual nightcap that I want to share and leave with you on tonight. And that is, if you have a loved one, if you have a spouse, whether it's the wife or the husband or boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it is, that it looks like their life is spiraling, continue to pray for them. Continue to pray. And what I'm going to tell you is that, we have to accept the things that we cannot change. But we can accept the things we can change. And so even though that person is going through whatever they're going through, you may not can change their situation. All you could do is pray for them and hope and pray that they'll open their heart to God, to ask for deliverance and to ask for a change, and hopefully that they'll come to God and come to the realization that they have a problem. So I just say on tonight, continue to pray. If you're in a situation where it's becoming dangerous in any way, where there is abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, due to someone's addiction, whether it's alcohol, drugs, it's time for you to take a step away from that situation. You keep on praying for that spouse, because when it gets to this point, they need help. and staying there. If you're being abused in any kind of way, you need to step away and let God come in and work on that situation. And you continue to pray and you continue to keep the faith. I'm not saying to end your marriage, but what I'm saying is that if you have to step away because it's getting dangerous, it's getting toxic, and they just seem like they don't want any help right now, it's better for you to walk away, pray, and when they get the help that they need, you keep being supportive of them in their time of going through. But to stay in a dangerous situation, that's not good. There's so much going on today where there's drugs and things going on that people are killing their families because they have allowed that addiction to take away their family. So I'm just here to say, if you're in a dangerous situation, walk away until God can come in and fix that situation. You, like I said, you still be supportive. You pray, but don't allow yourself to stay in that situation like that. And just know that life is real. You know, I'ma pray with you, pray for you if you're in a situation that way. But just continue to look to God for everything, because He can change that person. But that person has to want to change. All you can do is keep praying, asking God to help them want to have a mindset to be delivered and set free. So that's my nugget on tonight. You know someone that's going through an addiction or anything, just continue to pray. Continue to seek God, because God does answer prayers. All right? So stay tuned for part 5. And also, I meant to tell you, please click like if you like this message on tonight. If you've been watching from part 1 up until this point, please go back to those videos and click like, share it. And I pray that what I've spoke on today as far as the spiritual cat, I hope that it has blessed your soul. As I say, I'm going to continue to pray, because I know this stuff is out here, is for real. You know, I don't know about you, but I've had these type of things in my family. But I have prayed, and I'm going to tell you something. God has answered some prayers for some of my family members to be delivered and set free. So, if God can do it in my family, He can do it in yours. And so, have a blessed night, and stay tuned for part 5. Have a good night.